I second that. I did read it.
Okay.
For the, Ted showed up, we just kinda went right into Ted there and talked with him. It was good over there.
Are you live and in charge?
John, you caught up, I guess we're ready whenever you.
Yeah, first thing I wanted to kind of mention is this, I'm very concerned about an appeal coming through Wednesday morning from Lafarge. School district's all been notified, everybody's been noticed that, you know, they were asking for about a $2 million reduction of assessed value. And that's, you know, again, it's not in my hands, but I do have some great concerns about that and how it's gonna affect that taxing body, especially Joppa School District and stuff.
Joppa Maple Grove.
Yeah, but just keeping you abreast on that. Today I brought with me Lowell and Trent, they're from Pictometry. We're,
How are you? Good, how are you guys?
Good, thank you.
I'm gonna kind of turn it over to them and let them explain about this GIS Pictometry and this flyover that we're looking to do in the near future. That we've talked with the city, with Keith Davis and Chad Murray from the city, and discussing another flyover and update. I thought it was important for you guys to understand what exactly it's important for us to keep on track with this.
Yes.
So I'm gonna turn it over to these gentlemen and I'm gonna let them sit wherever they wanna sit, right up here, and I'll sit back.
We'll just sit here if that's Okay, okay. that's good.
Or
Or
whatever
whatever
you
you guys wanna do.
Do you want your screen or something? I see you carry a bunch of stuff in here.
No, we're
Okay.
good. If you have any questions, just ask us as we go. I mean, we wanted to be interactive with you guys, so we won't take too long. What I kind of wanted to do, we didn't have a, set plan for anything, but I kind of wanted to tell you a little bit about who we are. We're an aerial imagery provider. We're out of Rochester, New York. There's about 350 employees now in the company, although we just merged with another company out of Seattle, Washington, a roof reports business that does a lot in the insurance industry. We cover about 87% of the United States, and we've got about 190 million images that we've taken over that time. We fly in the United States. We've got about 72 aircraft that we work with across the country, and we also fly internationally, so we do overseas too. We've got about 88 planes total. So that's who we are. We're out of Rochester. We cover pretty much all 50 states, so we work with about a third of the counties in the country currently work with us. So we continue to do a little bit more as we go. We work with a lot of the government entities, from the FBI to the DEA to FEMA to Homeland Security. We do a lot with them too. Last year in 2011, I guess it was, for the Super Bowl over in Indianapolis, we flew for Homeland Security. So they like what we do. What we do is we come in, we have these airplanes, these Cessnas, we come in at the request of the counties, and we fly them like you'd mow your yard. So we fly over the county, we come back and forth, and then we take all these snapshots, individual snapshots, we put them together, we send them to Rochester, everything's processed in Rochester, and then we get them back to you folks for different reasons that you might want to use them at the county level. When do we do it? We do it usually in the fall and in the like October, November time frame. We do leaf-off conditions, because when we fly, we want you to have the best possible imagery that you can to view and to use it for the different reasons that you might. And we'll talk a little bit about how you might use it too at the county here, all the different departments that can use it. But we fly leaf-off, so we're getting really close now. We're actually flying Will and DuPage County now, so we're finishing them up, because as you can tell, the leaves are starting to come on the trees and that kind of thing. So it's going to be kind of crunch time for us. Where do we do it? I think I mentioned pretty much all across the United States. We work, Trent and I cover Indiana and Illinois, so we do quite a bit of work here. Most of our work is done in Indiana. Over there, the government sets up a little bit differently. The assessors are the main call point there. They use our stuff quite a bit over there. Out of the 92 counties in Indiana, by the end of this year, we'll actually work with about 50 of them. So we're pretty active over in that state. We've got a little bit more to do here. Neither one of us lives over here, so we haven't devoted probably quite as much time. And pretty much how we do it, I think I mentioned to you, we just fly the planes over, we capture the imagery, we put it all together, and then that's what becomes pictometry. Predominantly how the counties use it, it's a neat product, and a lot of the counties get on board and fund it, depending on the county, in multiple ways, but you can use this product throughout the county in a lot of the different departments. Assessment is huge. We've got a couple, they can take the imagery, we call it intelligent imagery, because you can take it and you can measure on it. So without even going out to a building, just to give you an idea, let me show you this real quick. This is we had this printed off, we were at the Algisa conference, the GIS conference in Southern Illinois last week. And this is one of the images that we had printed from the Hoosier Dome, or from the Lucas Oil Stadium now, I guess. So you can see the sort of detail that the imagery provides for you folks. This is some of our newest stuff. We call it 3-inch imagery. And what it would allow, your stuff would look the same here. This is the kind of clarity and the closeness that you'd see. But what it allows the assessors to do is they can come in and they could measure, they could take a distance tool and they could go from here to here and know the length of the building. You could get the pitch of the roof. We could take a tool here in the software and measure the height. So you can completely move around this building. There's actually cameras on each side. So an individual can completely move around the building, measure on it, and get all the information that you really need, in some instances without even going out to see the property. So now granted, you can't always tell the condition of the building and that sort of thing, so there's still a need to do the visits and things sometimes. But it really is a nice tool. You can imagine for emergency and planning that sort of thing, Keith over an emergency. You folks have flown with us back in 2010, and they like to have it on board for reasons of that. For planning reasons for the county, planning department uses it. We integrate within the 911 centers, so you can use it for dispatch, can take a look at it if they're dispatching something. So planning, fire, police, we're actually going to work, we've got a new cloud-based system where we take the imagery and we upload it into our servers out in Rochester, and now the police cars, even in some of the counties out in Indiana, are going to have access to it in the cars. So, what questions do you have? I don't want to just blab on and,
I do want you to talk about the cost and what we were talking a little bit about,
Okay.
spreading that cost out so that
Yeah.
I don't have to necessarily come up with the whole amount of money for my part from the county aspect, which is.
We can show you this if you'd like. We've got it pulled up here on the computer, if you want to take a look.
You guys can see that there, it is zooming out a little bit more.
I don't know if you guys can all see this or not.
Now, this is being split 3 ways through the city, 911, and the county, correct?
Yeah, that's what was talked about, because we talked to Keith and Chad over there, and, so they talked.
I had a 911 board last week, and he brought it up, and they had a few questions to make sure 911 was still gonna be a part of it. I believe that,
Yeah, okay, all right.
because that would help our cause, because split it 3 ways instead of half.
Right, and of course,
Yeah,
that's my major concern here is the cost.
Right.
And that's, even out in Indiana, money's getting tight everywhere. So what they do is they usually spread it across the different departments. And then if you break it up, it's a little bit more palatable, I suppose. But if you take a look here, if you were to just do the one flight over 3 years with us, it's $74,454. What we encourage you to do, and I would say what probably 90% or higher of the counties actually do with us is they go into an extended term contract with us. And what we propose for you guys, we do that 2 ways. We either do 2 flights over 6 years, so you'd fly every 3 years, or you'd fly 3 flights over 6, but we thought that was a little bit too much probably for what you guys are doing down here. So, like Will County, they're gonna fly 3 flights over 6 years with us, they'll fly every 2 years. But there's a big difference there. So we took a look at 2 flights over 6 years, and you can see the reduction in cost. It goes from $74,000 to $58,000 for the first flight. The reason that the counties, there's 2 reasons actually the counties usually enter into a longer agreement with us. One is just the sheer reduction in the cost of the first flight. And 2, when you get to the second flight, at the 4th year there, the $71,000, you're not obligated to fly with us. The way we do it, because we know county governments change from year to year and the funding isn't always available. So what we do is, we have a non-appropriation clause that says at that next flight time frame, if the money isn't appropriated, we don't come in when it's time to fly this. We just don't automatically come in here and fly your county. We get a letter from you folks, we'll come to you guys and say, is this something that you want to do? Do you have the money to fly the second flight? And if you don't, you're not obligated to fly that second flight with us. You can postpone it a year, you can move it back a year, or you don't have to fly it at all if you just tell us that the money isn't appropriated. So those are the 2 reasons mainly that the counties go on board like that. we did put in a change finder proposal here, for Gary, it's $7,678. This would be in addition to this, 58 if you decided to go with it. The change analysis is a really neat tool that we offer, and it's mainly for assessment reasons, but it does give you building outlines too. So if we came in, we'd create building outlines of every one of the buildings here you have in the county, so you'd have new building outlines. And then what it does is it compares 2 years of imagery. So we can take a look, you folks flew in 2010. If you flew again, which would be, the next time for you folks would be this fall, 2013. What it does is it compares those 2 years of imagery based on the building outlines, and it detects change. So Gary would get a report, he would get a printout, and it's got all the parcel IDs or the building IDs, that sort of thing, and he can go in and punch it in the system, and it will automatically pull up for him what's changed or not changed. The other thing it does too, there's a map that becomes available, and we could have showed it to you on here, but we weren't sure how much time, and it's all color-coded based on how the properties have changed. So you can tell what's been demolished, what's been added. There's like, what is it, 6 different categories, I think, or something like that?
Yeah, we have changed, possibly changed, new, demolished. There's a, what am I missing? I think it's a,
Yeah,
we have an unknown category in case something can't be determined, whether there's a tree blocking a view or something like that too, so.
But this price you're showing us, that's the total price for the city, the county, and now we want to be split 3 ways.
It is, yeah. That would be the total cost there, yeah, for everything here.
Is there anything that the city would look to add or 911?
Not really, no, because the imagery is really what they would use, and then you can integrate that, within your system there. Keith's got it from, 2010, I think
Right.
he was the primary funding spot there for it, so. And he uses it in his own way over there. We've met with him
Right.
a few weeks back, to talk to him, so. This is kind of what you guys have been looking
We
at.
got
Can you see that
74,
okay?
454, but now, that, even the top figure does not include this.
It does not, no. This is something additional if you folks would want to do it for assessment reasons.
So, what I'm understanding, we're gonna eat this whole bottom number, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that would be something that Gary would want.
Yeah, that, and the rest of them don't need it, do they?
It probably would not use it other than.
Well, the city may, and
It's a good building inventory data set because it can be used inside of the GIS, so you.
Could be too from the city from a standpoint of a zoning, if they find something that, wait a minute, although it'd be kinda hard to kinda hide some of that stuff, but I know that it's a real issue for the county. I mean, there's a lot of things out there I know are out there we haven't got.
Have you spoke with Chad about that?
Not about that change, I just found out about that change just this morning,
And it
so.
could very well be something that the city would just split with us.
Could possibly, we'll
About
talk
3,500
to
piece
them.
or something.
Yeah.
But the one thing that enticed me also when we were discussing was the fact that we could make 3-year payments. Am I correct, if you want to talk
That's the other
about?
thing, you mentioned that,
Yeah,
I forgot to mention it,
that's very
I'm
important to
sorry.
me.
Trying to put everything in here for you. So, the 58, if you chose to go this route, you do have a 3-year time frame. Since it's 2 flights over 6 years, you have 3 years to pay for that. So the 58,000 could be broken down over a 3-year time frame too, so you wouldn't have to come up with all the money at one point, which is nice. And we can work with you on the payment terms. I mean, we do that. Usually there's a certain percentage they like down, and then once we fly, it's about 12.5% down initially. And then once we fly, there's another percentage, and then that's how we break it down over the 3 years. But we could certainly work with you guys on that too, depending on how you need to do it, so. Do you guys have any questions? Is there anything we're forgetting
No, I
to tell
just, like I
them?
said, that was important because that way I wouldn't have to deplete my GIS fund with.
Well,
just
I mean,
one
that's
time.
58,000 divided by the city and 911 the county.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's not a huge amount.
No, but you break that down into
$20,000.
3, it's even less.
Yeah.
And I like that idea.
all up front, yeah.
I like that
Is there
idea.
any interest charge or anything if we don't pay it off?
No, nothing like that. We don't, there's no interest, accrued or anything like that.
That's a no-brainer then.
Yeah. Okay. And when do we have to make a decision?
We should have something back, because you guys are a fall flight. That's about your time schedule. We should have something back by the end of July, if at all possible. Yeah.
And do you send us some type of agreement or something to sign?
We
So the
do.
board can look at it and our say so.
Yeah, we sure do. We'll put together, what we'll do is we'll put together a contract for you. And we'll put it together for you and get it sent out to you, and you can have the state's attorneys look at it, whoever you need to take a look at it.
All right.
And, if anything needs to be changed, we can, change, and we'll work with you in that way too, to get it, a bit how you need it, so. But yeah, July 31st, since you guys are looking at fall, would probably be the time we'd have to have a contract back in by, to corporate out there in Rochester.
Do we get to ride with you when you do the flying?
I knew that was coming. Well, you know what? I do have, Butch wants to fly. He wants to see how it's done.
I just wanna jump out in parachute or something.
Oh, good lord, I don't think they're gonna allow that, but it's crazy. Yeah, exactly. We don't, we don't fly real high, we're only about 2,500, 3,000 feet, so we fly lower. And the other thing is, we design all of our own cameras, if you can imagine out there. The guys in Rochester, those engineers are really smart guys.
Yeah.
So the cameras of these things, there's only one guy in this plane, if you can imagine, everything's automated. And these cameras take up the whole back and the belly of the plane. And they even have to reroute the exhaust in these planes to make it so, the exhaust isn't a factor in capturing these images. So they might be able to hang you off the tail somewhere. If you could hang on long enough, but that'd be about as good as it'd get, I think.
Okay, unrelated question.
Yeah.
Where does a drone fit into your company's future? It's gotta be cheaper than what you're doing, doesn't it?
I tell you what,
Smaller.
we hear that a lot, we do, we get that question. You wanna talk about that at all?
Yeah, I don't know if they're on the horizon at this point. Everything we do is still manned. Still has to be that manual component of looking at the weather, and getting up there and seeing is the water in the banks of the river, and that type of stuff. So, at this point, I don't even think it's on the horizon for us.
Everybody asks us that, actually.
Everybody does,
Yeah, it does make sense, I mean, when you really think about it, it does, yeah. There's so much that goes into it, capturing this, I mean,
It's hard to replace them, ain't it?
it's the one good area, and everything's getting so automated anymore, and people are being replaced, at such a high rate in all the different jobs across the country. This is actually one place, with that job at least, you can say you probably have a little bit of job security, because it really is a human being that's needed, which is nice to see. Because so many of us are being replaced, in different things, so.
Thank you. Gerald, you got anything?
No.
Any questions?
May I have your name again?
Yeah, sure.
Trent and Lowell.
Yeah, I'm Trent Pell.
P-E-L-L?
Correct, yes.
You're Lowell.
I'm Lowell. Yeah. Did you guys want anything more on this?
May I have your last name, Lowell? I mean, it's just for
Yeah,
minutes.
sure, it's Davis, D-A-V-I-S. I can give you these if you need them.
Thank you.
And your company's Pictometry, right?
It is.
Okay, very good.
It
Thank
sure
you.
is. You guys done with this, okay?
Yes.
All right.
Thanks for your time.
Oh,
Thank
my
you.
God.
Appreciate you, Lowell.
Pleasure.
Keep Gary in line over
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Good to meet you. Great to meet you too. Take care. Good to meet both of
Thank
you
you.
I
guys.
only have two, but
That's fine.
we're kind of getting halfway to the year, a couple calendars we do every year.
Yeah.
That's all I had.
All right, thank you,
You bet.
Gary. Have a good day.
You too. Stop by and,
I will, when I get down there.
okay.
Gerald, you want those pictures?
Got tied up on my phone, but they're gonna think I'm not coming.
Oh, we.
I don't know if they do or not. I think they may be separate from Bruce.
I mean, the wife only had Bruce.
Yeah, Bruce Harris aligned that, but I don't know necessarily.
Gary didn't,
But if they did it in 2010, I mean, it was updated since then, I haven't. Bruce Harris was the first one that proposed it.
right.
But what they do, that I think they sublet, within that proposal, I think they hired a company similar to this to do it. Now, that's just my,
Yeah.
Are you Dana?
I'm good, how about you?
Yeah, this is pretty decent. Anything going on?
The auditors are here, so.
That good? Good to know.
that keeps them hopping.
Yeah,
And this is before payroll, correct? We got a payroll coming up this week.
next week. Yeah.
That's when this would come from.
Yeah, me too.
You can give him a front.
That's my code.
Anything that you need from us with the auditors, or everything going all right?
Everything so far, they have what they needed, so.
That's one thing about that group, they know what they need, when they get here, they ask you specific things, boom, and then
They're at work.
they're at it.
Yeah, and they're getting like faster because we're just giving them what they need right out of the gate, so.
I didn't know,
I think it's-
would you kinda take over mid-year if you had any questions for Floyd?
You
they'll
kinda
have some,
been there
I'm
before,
sure.
haven't you?
Yeah, so.
Well, Floyd do like I do, just refer them to them.
Exactly. Cut out the middleman.
Yeah. All right, well, got anything you're expecting in, money? No?
No, I think we've got everything we're gonna get. I think there might be some sheriff's fees.
Okay.
Any word on the insurance guy?
Yeah, he's coming today at 10 o'clock.
Is he gonna?
I noticed he wasn't on the agenda, and then I texted him this morning. I don't guess he called, or probably did.
I don't recall him
I don't
calling.
think he did, but I texted him this morning, said, are you coming? And he said, I'll be there by 10.
Do I need to be here for that
But
or?
it'll probably be good, if you have questions, definitely.
Okay. Well, I think Cheryl called us,
And I mean,
breaking over the calls good the
yeah,
other day. but-
audition.
I don't know
He
that,
might-
but I know Cheryl, so.
He might need it again today.
Yeah.
You know, she might need to come down here and rake him over one more time. Make sure he remembers his trip.
Yeah, we were kinda looking over it, and Cheryl, we were talking, and I think we probably are saving some money with him,
Yeah.
but it's,
But yeah, he should be here by 10.
okay.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you,
Thank you.
guys. Call me if you need anything.
All right.
I got one button.
Larry, how you doing? Doing fine. Well, come on up. Everything going pretty good for you? I see I guess you and the mayor got the road worked out there by the high school.
That's what my wife said, she called
I
me this morning,
I
said
went through
they're,
there yesterday, saw the potholes were patched, so,
Yeah,
so I guess they decided maybe they would,
yeah.
best I, like I told you, I looked and
they annexed it, I think, about 2,000.
Yeah. Looks good now.
Look good.
Yeah, it needed it. I mean, there was,
Oh, my, yeah.
there were some
Bad.
jug holes out there. Whew, about knocked the front end out of my truck.
A whole lot of inexperienced drivers on them
Yeah.
roads.
Yeah, they don't need no challenges on that road.
you know, bad places that I remember were right in the intersection.
Mhm.
And he just couldn't hardly,
You-
if there was
you can't
anybody
avoid
there,
'em.
you couldn't hardly miss them.
Yeah.
So,
There's
yeah,
one-
I went through there yesterday and saw that they had patched them, cause we didn't.
Yeah. Looks good.
We are patching, but we didn't.
Not there. Anything going on out there at the shop?
Just same old maintenance,
Yeah.
cutting a few limbs here and there, and got the bucket truck out, we done a little bit with our, brush cutter on our little excavator, that's really come in handy. I think they're doing some ditching with it today. Yeah, that was a good move.
Seen some work at Big Bay, looks real good. Kudos to those guys, tell them.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
We had to sneak over, since we knew who farmed the field
Yeah.
behind, and had them get the backside just to,
It makes it so much easier.
well, it's like I told David, if you don't, that tree gets bigger on the backside,
It's just gonna
then
fall
it
in the
goes to
ditch.
pushing the water over against
On
the
the
road and washing the road out.
Yeah.
And we don't want that, so I just assumed,
Get it done.
since the farmer let us get in his field, get both sides of the ditch, even though it's kind of a, that's more, a little bit more than a road width, but still.
When does the mowing start with those temporaries? When do they usually get started? Is it sometime next month?
It's in May, I think. I don't know if it's the first or the fifth. Yeah, it's kicking in gear, ain't it?
Yeah, all these rains and that sun.
Yeah, we was talking about the other day, we're having to get the mowers checked out. We've still got, 2 of our old hands are available. Doug says, thank you, but I'm gonna have to give you
You're
a
retiring, huh?
You
Again.
Again, yeah.
He's gotta be in the 70s,
Yeah. And in fact, he said, when we got the 2 new tractors with the cabs, he made the statement, he says, I think you just increased my mowing time 3 years, and that's just about what he did. Yeah, that is,
He's a good man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good help too, that guys like that's hard to come by. Don't tear anything up, not a cowboy.
we've had some really good hands, I hope we can get somebody decent. And can continue to afford three people to mow with, that's worked out awful well. So,
I was wanting to see if we could probably make a motion to go to closed session to discuss personnel issues there at Highway Department and get those tests back, so. We can make that motion,
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. Read over that. Fix that.
Read it, you know. This is the same copy, correct?
I thought I was printing out two different ones, and I ended up printing out the same one twice.
You mean with the name?
No,
Oh,
the different schedule.
oh, okay.
One was 1% for the 12 months, which do it in the middle of the year, and this one was 1% for 6 months.
I think this is the one we wanted anyhow. You did good.
It just made paperwork on him easier. Yeah.
Larry, that, like Pulaski County down there, you've been to their headquarters, county headquarters there, and Polk County. Why is it that Massac has so much more nice equipment? Because you're so conservative, or is it, you get more money, or what? Okay. I mean, what governs that, the size of the county, or?
We have a higher EAV, we have a higher tax base. Several times higher.
Okay.
What is Pulaski County's EAV?
Oh, my goodness,
60.
we probably have 100 million more EAV.
Yeah,
Well, you know, they just got basic, bare necessities. Old houses.
we've been lucky. Yeah, I can remember some tight times. I can remember when our AV, when I started, was 60, 70 million,
Million,
and it's more than doubled.
yeah.
And we've been fortunate, we've gotten some other money that have allowed us to spend a little bit more money on equipment, and we've bought some used state equipment that's helped us out until we could. And we just slowly built the equipment up, built storage to protect it. And that's what's bothering me now, is even with everything we've done, and you both can relate to this, repair costs are just
Oh, eat you alive.
killing us.
Yeah.
I keep increasing the maintenance budget. Tires have doubled in price in the last 2 or 3 years.
Good tires, $600.
If you can find them even. I had trouble finding grader tires a while back. Get on a list and order them. We might get them built in 6 months.
That kinda don't cut it, does it?
When it catches you off guard, no, it did not. We try to keep several, just in case, because you always,
Get out
you
there
get in
and
a
run
ditch and
one or
you
two.
cut one.
Yeah.
On a beer bottle or a culvert or piece of metal that somebody's thrown in a ditch, or, and I got caught almost, I was scrambling, and we ended up spending, shoot, I forget, we bought radios. And you gotta buy all 6 tires at one time. We spent a bunch of money to get one grader switched over
Okay, in that
Great.
situation, does that other tire still, they fit a different grader then, or?
We've kept, yeah, we
Yeah,
kept
that's
them.
what I was gonna say.
No, no, no. No, no. Yeah, we kept them because we've got 3 graders. And we're still using bias on the others. So we kept the graders and we try to recap them. But biased, you can't hardly find anymore. So. We were buying Goodyears all the time and Goodyears sold out. That line, just grader tires. That size. So we almost had no choice but to go to radials. There's a lot of difference in cost. You will.
We good to you, Gerald?
Yeah. Like that vacation law's on there, you know, so should be the same.
Well,
Now,
it's
this-
not
this-
very
These
much.
sheets aren't identical, right?
Yes,
They are identical?
yes, they are
Well, I
identical.
don't think they are right in this section right here.
Yeah, let me look at it. If they ain't, I'll get them.
I think that one we need to, one says it ends on December 30th first, that one does not say that.
Okay. They aren't. I do have 2 different ones, I'm sorry. I did print it out right. Okay. Other than that, they are identical.
Yes.
So I will go make several copies of this for John to sign.
Let me see,
That's the one we want.
Yeah. Okay.
Are we done with
I
this?
thought we wanted the one that ended, December 31st every year.
Right.
Mhm.
So that's the one.
That's this one.
Yeah, this one here needs to be thrown out. Okay.
That's the one I did not read then, is it not?
The only difference in them is this.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Isn't
I thought they were
isn't
the
that
same.
confusion?
Done.
All right.
Thank you.
No problem. Due to the retirement of Mr. Glasgow on June 30th this year, we went through the process of interviewing a lot of people for the highway department engineering job, and we did send 3 people to Springfield to take the test, and we got the results back. And under the section 5-201 Illinois Highway Code, we received notice that 2 of the people passed the test, and then we've had discussions that we feel like, out of those discussions, we wanna hire Mr. Joe Massac, is the recommendation I'm making, and see if we get a motion to pass the resolution to hire him.
I moved to approve.
Okay, and can I get a second?
I'll second.
All right, and all agree, say aye.
Aye.
All right, so Joe Massac will be the new Massac County Highway Engineer. At full capacity starting July 1st of this year.
You're gonna bring him on ASAP.
Yeah, and he's, we're gonna just talk to him today, and from what I understand, he's gonna give his employer like a 2-week notice maybe, and then try to start as soon as possible.
Let me make several copies of that. They're gonna want original signatures.
Jason, you didn't call that, other guy.
Yes, I got his resume out, and I'll contact him, Samuel. Yes, I will, I'll do that today.
Jeff, being designed from the old school, what was it you asked the guy about them pictures, it'd be cheaper to do
From a
some?
drone, unmanned plane, like the military uses.
Oh,
So
okay.
those things are tiny.
Yeah, we saw them when we took that helicopter ride up to Louisville.
Yeah, is it, you talking about when we went to the military thing?
Uh-huh.
That was cool.
Wasn't that Louisville we went to?
No, we went to,
Fort Knox?
Fort Knox.
Fort Knox, okay, yeah.
Yeah, they took it and they had like a TV screen, they sat there and just flew it, of course, it was out of sight, you don't even know where it was at.
So we did
Well,
a
see,
lot of
these,
nights.
I mean, well, like these guys, they're flying in things over in Afghanistan, sitting in
Mhm.
Texas.
Yeah. Yeah. Taking pictures and
Doing their business.
whatever, yeah.
Doing a little work.
What did he say the bank was today? $75,000?
It was a lot of money.
Oh, it's terrible.
And it looked like something you'd buy at the dollar store.
Well, the thing of it is, if we're gonna crash or get shut down, you don't wanna have too many secrets on there
Well,
either.
we asked him, cause we went to the military, and cause they just break apart when they, and he says, well, it keeps them from breaking, they just put them right back together, I mean, they're real, they just,
Almost disposable.
yeah, I mean, and then, they have something on there where if they do get captured, they can blow them up. And then it had a thing on there that it kept how much gas it had in it, and once it reached a distance that it knew it had to fly back at that time, it just automatically turns around, and comes back, so it don't run out of gas
Good.
before it gets back. That's pretty neat. Yeah, the guy just took it, remember he just threw it? Remember that, it was,
Yeah.
him and, there was one guy controlling it, he had like an assistant, and he just went, he'd throw it up in the air, just like you would at your backyard. Ooh. It's kinda cool.
That was an experience.
Larry?
That, I think that's a Pentecostal church up there at Salmon.
Mm-hmm.
A girl called me that lives nearby there, Jane Henderson, you know.
January,
Yeah, what's that tree service? Rogers.
Okay, yeah.
Said that they've got a culvert that's, stopped up out on the road and water is on a hard rain. It's, she said flooding the road.
At the church, or
Right in front of the church.
I bet it's that one there just west of the church, kind of in that jog, okay.
That may be, yeah. I thought that was bank there, you know. It may be.
There's kind of a little jog in the road just west, southwest of the church, and, okay.
Could be. That's all I have.
She thought it was across the road?
Yeah,
Okay.
I believe it's across the road, yeah.
how do you want me to word about him being employed by, does that even need to be included in the motion? That he will come on board, but not in the capacity as,
That possibly would be a good idea. Assistant county engineer.
Okay.
Hire
so,
as assistant county engineer
and, okay,
until the effective date of the appointment. It's what I was, I don't know what else you call it.
Sounds good.
And I would like to, our spring meeting is, May 8th, 9th, and 10th. And I'm typically I'll go up Thursday and spend the night, Thursday night for Friday, and back in with me.
Okay.
It's a good idea.
I think good experience to kind of get him acclimated to.
Is there a county, Larry, that you confer with if you have a problem with down here?
I was just gonna say, you probably have an association with a local zone association, I'm sure, and
There's
Cheryl.
the
there's
District
this-
9 county engineers meet
Yeah.
10 times a year.
Yeah, you've told us that.
They meet 10 times a year, and the only 2 months they don't meet, we have a semi-annual statewide meeting. And those are very good to attend.
Yeah, and
because-
also the phone and the emails are always open. I mean, it's just, it's not like you're just dumped out there on your own.
Yeah, see, that's why I was saying, is we've got a network with the internet now through our association, that guys come up with a different, wait a minute, especially new guys. And of course, things are changing all the time. Had one the other day, in Knott County, not very far north of here. Apparently, they have I don't know if it's a construction project or a new business coming in, and they're saying, hey, this is quite likely gonna do damage to the roads. What can we do? The one that has been big, I mean big up north, around Bloomington in the central part of the state is the wind farms.
The what?
The wind farms. Electric generation with the windmills.
Yeah.
Those suckers are heavy. and they have had to go in and work ahead of time. And in some counties, have had to build a temporary bridge over the top of the existing bridge, because the existing bridges wouldn't handle the weight. And of course, you make the companies pay for that and do the work. You know, they usually do the design work. They hire a contractor to come in and do, and what they've done is like, it'd be like a road like Country Club or North Avenue, where the bridge wouldn't carry it. They've actually come on each side and built a temporary structure, put gravel on the road, and built a bridge over a bridge,
And then go back in and clean it up.
and then go back and take it back off. Just to get the windmills in. These suckers, I guess, are heavy, and yeah,
I guess it has
But it might turn them over.
so.
I mean, I was shocked at, look, like, one blade, how
Yeah.
long a blade is on those.
They don't look that big standing out in that field, do they?
No, they don't, but boy, you look at a blade, and just to know what the size of the tower, and it has to accommodate that blade.
You see them coming up and down the highway, and there's been some boxes coming up and down the highway for a long time. And what in the world? And finally, we've had, at our annual and semi-annual meetings, we have had presentations about wind farms, because they have become such a thing. And, you know, suggested, here's agreements, you know, so that you're not reinventing the wheel again. Here's what and here's the problems we've run into. We suggest if you get one, you need to do this differently, and things like that. You know, hey, it's, you know, that network out there is invaluable.
Thank you, Larry.
Okay,
Yeah, thanks a lot, buddy.
Anything else we can do, just let us know.
okay. You're gonna get with him today, so.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't wanna
got
talk
his
to him
number.
until you give him the official.
Yeah, I was gonna call him here in just a minute. I'm gonna call him here in just a minute. Thank you, Larry.
Thank you, have a good week.
So, Joe, you're next.
Okay.
All right. Your wife's out there, girl.
Well, I guess you got my billfold, I can't find it.
Huh? She got your what?
My billfold.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
she's your wife, isn't she? Of course she gonna have your billfold.
Okay, Jason and I went to the local elected officials meeting a couple weeks ago in Marion. And one of the things that was kind of interesting, and Jason asked me to do some more research on, was the IPW Man Association, which is Illinois Public Works Mutual Aid Network. And I just got off the phone with her. It took a couple weeks to run her down, but if that was something that you all would be interested in, the annual fee would be $250 a year. And
Why don't you kinda tell Jeff and, I guess, you know, everyone about how that is a big asset to have in case of it.
right, if, in case of a disaster or bad situation, it could be straight line winds, flooding, whatever. If you remember, they will send the necessary resources down for 5 days into the county, and the manpower, and this can be anything from chainsaws to backhoes to bulldozers, whatever, and they will spend 5 days in your area taking care of the situation. The only thing you would be out other than the annual fee would be to feed them, and in the case they came from far away, if they had to spend the night housing, but the situation that they're getting into now, they have enough people that belong to the association that they could probably go back home of an evening and, you know, just commute. For instance, right now, Marion, Salem, Heron, Williamson County, Franklin County, DuQuoin, Murfreesboro, some of the areas in southern Illinois. So I would say it was very similar to what the city did during the ice storm, where they had electrical crews come in. But
We just thought it would be good, you know.
Have we been a part of this before at all?
no,
Never.
it's a fairly new association, really.
Yeah, they gave a presentation at that meeting we went to, and a lot of the other cities had bragged about, you know, how they come in and they've really seemed to help. A lot of it's just, you know, in a situation, let's say you had a big ice storm or something, and other roadways were blocked, these crews would come in and help you, you know, they're just focused on that, you know, getting everything open back up.
When they had the straight line winds up around Carterville a while back, they didn't even stay for 5 days, I think they
Oh,
were
yeah, it
there
wouldn't
a
take
couple-
that long,
couple
cause
days.
you've got so much manpower. to
But they
jump on
said,
that
but they
problem.
said it was just like, you know, calling service master in or something, so just zoom and it's done, you know, so.
You know, for $250 annually,
Yeah.
it's a good investment. So that sounds good.
If y'all are interested in that, I'll have them send a
Yes.
packet, so. And I think that's all I have, Jim.
All right.
Can I ask a question? What are we liable for, like, if a disaster happens? you know,
Somewhere else?
Somewhere else?
That is strictly up to you, said you don't have to respond, obviously, if, you know, if you're expecting them to come, they would like for you to, but said you could send one person, you could send, you know, it's basically up to the county, the way I understood it.
Well, I mean, we wanna, if we're getting something in return, we wanna make sure. that
Absolutely,
we get back some.
but there's nothing in writing that says that you have to respond with 5 people and this much equipment or anything like that.
Do we have people that are certified that could respond? That, you know, I know one time before we talked about getting some people certified to use chainsaws and things like that. Is there, is there anyone that could respond on our behalf?
I would say that your, road department.
Okay.
You know,
All right, well, I'll talk with
Yeah.
Mary about that to make sure that,
yeah,
see if they would wanna participate,
right.
you know, cause
right.
that, John's asked a very good question.
Right.
So we need to find out.
Well, yeah, and, you know, but we can go ahead and once they get the packet.
Yeah,
we can be-
that's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Joe.
Sure.
Hey, my goodness. Can I go to the restroom real quick?
Go ahead.
You're a little windy sometimes, so.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna call
That's my
Joe.
middle name, actually.
Hey,
Wendy?
Yeah.
throw me those,
Yeah.
you want me to go through some of them while
Yeah,
you're,
I will sure. I'm not moving too quickly.
you're doing all right. I'm not rushing.
Man, look at you. Things must be good.
Making the big bucks.
Man, got a nice purple shirt.
Come in here in an Armani suit.
Yeah, real mean.
Yeah, yeah.
See, we got a bill here for certified election. Is it bona fide now, John?
What is that?
Is this certified? Let's see. Certificate of election.
Yeah, that's,
But it
yeah,
can be certifiable.
that election is certified.
Over and done, huh?
Well, I wish it was. Actually, there's still a portion of it I've got to do to wrap up. I did a precinct retab that was required by the state yesterday evening. And I've got to retab an early voting piece of equipment, but I want to hold off doing that because I'm afraid, I don't want to break the seals on the ballot boxes just yet, just in case there's a contest or some,
Yeah. Well, like a mayoral or something.
yes, like,
Jeremy, what you got good for us?
I got some reports for you to look at.
Good.
I got you. Thank you, sir. Keith.
Did all right, Keith?
Oh, yeah, you guys all right?
Oh, great.
All right, need anything?
Listen, I need something.
Okay.
Who taught you? I want to get on your mom about teaching you to write your name. Is that your name? I can't even read that.
Well,
He thinks he's an attorney.
A doctor.
Stayed in a Holiday Inn
Doctor,
Express.
yeah. What does that look like?
Guaranteed nobody's gonna,
Ain't nobody gonna know that one.
yeah.
Well, Ted Holders is just as bad.
I'll get on to him too, I haven't noticed. Nobody's gonna know if he's forwarding it or not.
Hello, Jeremy, how are you?
Yeah, how are you doing?
John, have you got any more calls or nothing?
Not yet, I'm holding my breath. I guess tonight, when they swear Mr. Clayfer in, that ought to send him off the edge, and the fact that,
Are you gonna be hard to find?
nah, I might just be waiting on the front porch.
You got a rocking chair?
Yes.
There's a rocking chair.
Borrow my car if you wanna look inconspicuous. Blend
Yeah.
in. Never seen it. Their checking account. Then we have to turn around and write them a check out of their checking account to Steve Vogt, and then he puts it in a different
Steve
Mental
Oakley.
City National Bank.
City National Bank. So this is, it's like a clearing account. is
Yeah,
what
how
it
is Steve Oakley, I mean, he works at City National Bank.
Well,
How's
Tom
Steve
Poland
Oakley?
was on the board at one time. Basically what that was, Larry Stanton, and you have a hard time filling that board. It's 708 Mental Health Board. They do have, I mean, we do levy for them. It's incorporated in our county level levy, but I'm trying to think back in the mid to late 70s, there was a referendum passed to levy a tax for mental health. And I think that their rate is 10 cents per $100 valuation. And you levy that for them, and that 708 Mental Health Board is totally different from the Executive Board of Mental Health. Totally. It's just basically to oversee the transfer of the tax money collected. We collect it and transfer it over to the 708 Mental Health Board, and then they disperse it basically how they see fit. And in the past,
Now, we appoint that board, though, commissioners do.
yes, if you can find somebody to take it. Because there's really not much,
The money's already been collected.
the money's been
That's
collected.
not our money, it's their money, we
It's
just.
708's the board.
The 708 would just
We're making a
basically,
disbursement from, into there.
and 708 would make the call on how that money is dispersed among mental health. And at the,
In the
in
community.
past practices, 15% went to MAC training, and the rest went over here for their programs.
No.
I'll wing it.
You wanna come over here where you can read? Yeah, or share.
Okay, you guys ready to look at
Yes.
this? Okay, this first page is just, paid claims by parent group. There's, 3 different ones there. The first one is the regular plan, so everybody that's on the co-pay deductible plan. Okay, we've got, first column is claim count, so how many claims have come through, the charged amount, then the ineligible, which typically ineligible means the discounted amount from the PPO provider, okay? So, then what we took in as far as deductibles on those charges, and then there's a copay column, and then if the employee had to meet their co-insurance, and then what the total paid amount was after all of that, okay? So for instance, that first column is, we had 135 claims total for $95,855.36. The discount was $30,308.51. deductible, what went towards deductible was $5,174.84. Co-pay amounts was $1,250. Co-insurance to the employees was $59,1987, for a total amount of $53,202.14. And that's for just employees. Then the next column is just spouses. We don't have any children on the plan. And you can just follow right along and see how that played out as well. Then there's a product total, which just combines the top two numbers and everything across to the right. And then the whole package total, which is the same as your product total there. So that's on our regular plan.
Okay, hang on a second. When you talk about coins amount,
Co-insurance.
co-insurance, okay.
Mhm.
That's what the county is matching or something?
No, no,
on this claim?
co-insurance.
Tell me how this,
Okay, what the employees have, I've got a copy of the plan here. The employees have a $500 deductible, okay? If it's a copay, copays never count towards your deductible. So if you're just going to get an office visit, or you're going to pick up your medications, those are copays. Those never count towards your deductible. Let's say you go in the hospital and have a $10,000 bill, okay? You're gonna pay the first $500 because that's your deductible on there. Then we have 80/20 co-insurance, so the next $2,000 of that bill. So we went from 10,000 bill, they
next
made the
20%.
right, the next 20%, which would be $2,000, okay? So the employee now has paid all their deductible, all their co-insurance.
Now, when you say the next 20%, that's not 20% of 9,500?
It is, in this instance.
So we're gonna start out with a bill of 10,500 for easy math.
Yeah,
They pay 500,
yeah.
carry on.
So then, once they meet their percentage, if it's a large bill, then the rest of that goes towards the plan, which the county is the plan. So we get the discounts and all that, and then we pay the discounted amount, whatever's left over after that. So this co-insurance amount that's all the co-insurance that the employees have paid combined for that 135 claim count.
There is nobody in the county with children on this plan?
Nope.
Usually, the unfortunate part of it is, I mean, with children, you can probably find another insurance policy out there to cover just them that's less expensive.
Most of the time, what you're gonna find is if they have children, and in a situation like this, they're probably not real high as far as salary goes, so they qualify for kid care or something that's less expensive, or on Medicaid anyways, so. The Maxi plan is another plan that's offered to people, it's offered to anybody in the county. The best fit for that is someone that's over 65 and still working, okay? And we've actually only got 2 people that are currently on that plan. We have 2 more that are, one that's eligible now and one that will be eligible later this year. But there were 16 claims total, $12,843.77. Discounted was $44,29.81, and paid amount, the county paid $8,413.96 on that. And that was strictly on employees. So there was no spouses there.
Go ahead. I'm not double checking you, but I'm double checking you.
That's fine. I'll give the disclaimer, I didn't run these reports, so. Medical reimbursement, we have what we call the MRP, the medical reimbursement plan. That's for those people that currently have other coverage, say through a spouse or another retiree health insurance on there. And so what we're doing is, all we're doing is reimbursing the co-pays and the deductibles on that other plan versus having them on this regular plan here. So the claim count, we had 8 claims on employees for a total of $35,85.71. They discounted $1945.35 off of that, and the difference is the $1640.36. And in this situation, there are some children that are covered through a spouse's insurance. there were 5 claims on that, we paid $479.07, and there was no discounts on that, so it was $479.07.
That's something I need to check into,
As far as,
'cause my son is on his head.
is he on your insurance here then? No, he's not on my insurance. He would be on the MRP.
But none of these people here are on this insurance.
Well, but they were when we came in. They were on the regular plan, so.
Well, then I've had this, life-altering event that you call, and so,
Got a Mustang.
That one probably wasn't the one she was talking about, but.
I'm sorry, but, anyway, we'll talk about this afterwards, cause I think
Yeah, you
should
can qualify,
qualify.
yeah.
So, and then the very bottom is just all those numbers combined. So, any questions on that one? Okay. Let's go
I
over
guess,
to-
I got a quick question on the very top there under spouses. They had 40 claims, but the deductible amount was only $250. Wouldn't the, is that necessarily telling you there's just one person? I mean, I thought you said the deductible was $500.
Well, I think did we raise the deductible to 500? We keep it for the person 250, with the county being responsible for the other 250. We
No,
didn't do that? Okay.
no, it's 500 straight. I can check into that though.
Well, it just kinda caught me off, why wouldn't it be 500?
Well, that's, not every time you're gonna hit your deductible at each thing. So say for instance, you go to the ER, I don't even know if that's a good example. You go to the doctor and they do some sort of a weird test that they have to send to
It
some.
qualifies.
Yeah, that they have to send to some other lab or something, that wouldn't be covered under the copay charge. You would get billed for that going towards your deductible.
If you had 40 claims, wouldn't the deductible be
Yeah,
higher? I mean, there'd be
you-
a chance that would be higher than $250.
Well, but see, some of those claims could all be, copays. They're going to the regular doctor's office.
And it's still considered a claim.
Right. And still a claim.
Alright.
But I'll check on that and see.
Okay.
So, next page is our large claims for the first 3 months of the year. We blacked out the names and the high dollar diagnosis. What you see there to the side where it says 1 and 2, those 2 claims made up 75.8% of the total claims paid.
Okay.
So basically 2 people were doing that. Number 1, if you'll look, the charge was $60,482.12. We got a really great discount.
Wow.
$13,510.70. I'm not too certain, but I think that was on a claim over at Western Baptist. They gave us a hell of a good discount there, so. And the second large claim, that was a claim, here at the local hospital, is one of those situations, it's one and done. Don't expect that to be any more, but that person is getting close to their reinsurance, so if they have any other large claims, reinsurance carrier, Symetra, will end up reimbursing us some money back, if that's the situation, so.
Do the county employees ever get to go over totals like this? I mean, it looks to me like they would encourage each other to be healthy.
I met with the insurance committee, which we had 3 people that came. Which I understand some of them were busy. The police department didn't have anyone there. I did tell Sandra that I called and tried to get the people that I knew, or at least knew as of last year, were the reps for the different unions to be on there, which they have, 2 of the 3 have changed. And I've left a few messages saying, hey, call me, I'd like to talk to you about this. I talked to Bill and he said he would pass the message along. no one called me back. Abby, happened to be out that day that we were having the meeting. But I have offered if they wanna meet, I've got the numbers, I just sat down with them and showed them last year. Here's what all the numbers were as far as large claims and different things. In fact, I've got it right here. I mean, it's just a one-page,
I think I gave that all.
kinda down and dirty.
Similar to that right there.
Yep, that's it. So, yep, that is exactly what I showed them. So, yeah, went over that with them, here's the cost and this is what's going on, so. So some of them, you know, are seeing that, so, you know, they do understand here's what the cost has been, so.
You on third page now?
Yeah, that is just the benefit code, just tells you what the top codes are that we have right now. Outpatient diagnostic, is the one that's the most costly on there. Right behind is inpatient hospital services, which we wouldn't have had the one large in-hospital patient claim, that would be a lot less on there. And that one large hospital claim, that was one of those things, I mean, we look at every claim that comes through, is there another available payer? You know, can we get someone else that would pay this claim on your behalf? Because they have other insurance or whatever. Didn't have that situation at all, so. But that just takes you step by step through there on what the charged amount was, what your deductible and co-insurance is, and then what the paid total amount was.
Is that pretty normal for other companies, or not companies, but counties and cities that you have? I mean,
Outpatient diagnostic typically is the largest, unless you had a really large inpatient hospital bill, because most things now are billed as outpatient. And in fact, I've even seen where they put somebody in the hospital, they didn't admit them, but they were in there for 24 hours and they still called it outpatient. So, this is another page of service class, what we're looking at. This kind of breaks down the previous page a little bit more, you know, what was lab, cardiovascular. As you can see, a lot of those are less than 10 claims total. We had 4 CAT scans last year, or in the last 3 months, 22, 424, 80. Deductible co-insurance was $12.36, and the amount paid was $11,493.81. And per claim, per paid claim is the right. So for those 4, it's $28.73.45. Ready? Next one. Going. This is, the next one is what we call our age 64 report. We can run this and it'll tell us everybody in the group that is either within a few months of turning 64 or are currently 65, and whether we have them on the regular plan or we don't have them on the regular plan. So we can use this as a tool to go talk to them about that maxi plan, okay? The first one is 65, currently on the regular plan. They are aware of the maxi, they just haven't made up their minds whether they want it or not. Under the maxi, we can't force, bribe, or coerce them to take that. I've explained it, it's a lot better plan for them, but so far they've not switched, but I will bring it up again. The next one is gonna be 65 in September, so they'll be able to switch to that. And then the very last one, it's 65 now, and I've not talked to her yet. but that's on my agenda to do,
Okay.
so.
That plan kinda sells itself, if they could just talk to people that's on the plan.
It really does, you know, it's just, some people say, well, that's just too good to be true, and it pays. What the maxi plan does is, again, it's a best fit for those that have a secondary coverage, primarily Medicare, but it pays 100% of outpatient charges, whether it's an office visit, we'll reimburse their drug card co-pays, all of that, but once they go into the hospital, they have Medicare as a secondary, typically only A, because that's all they will need, is Part A. The plan, the county, would pay $1,500. The balance of that bill goes to Medicare, that results in a paid in full bill. They cannot balance bill you or the client, either one. So if it's $100,000 bill, county pays $1,500, the rest of it goes to Medicare, they pay what they're gonna pay, and it's written off. So, we've not had any large, huge claims to tout under that, but, that does work. It's just a matter of when you get that large claim, so. This next one is, from our Script Care, which is our company that handles the pharmacy benefits for us, the drug card. And under the totals there, I mean, that tells you what the actual drug cost is, pharmacy fees, all of that. The copay and percent of total drugs, employees paid a total of almost 18% of the total drug cost. So, employer cost is circled 18,478.15 on that. Cost per card holder per month is $106.20. So, the next one is just a monthly cost report, how many scripts each month we had, what the total cost billed was, what the price was that we actually paid on there due to our discounts through Script Care, what the tax was, how much they paid in co-pays, and what the total amount was the county paid. So, and this next one is just the top 35 utilized drugs and what class they fall in. And again, it tells you how many scripts, doesn't tell you who or anything like that, but it tells you how many scripts there are. Let's see. Looks like the biggest is, 2 of them have 9, so 9 scripts each. That gives you a breakdown on all of those. So,
I haven't had no one complain. You know, they might not be happy, but they haven't said nothing about it. Have you had any calls?
no, not lately. So, and you know, we really can't compare this 3 months back to last year's 3 months, because we just took the plan over then, and we had that claims lag, so we paid very little claims a year ago for the first 3 months, so anything that we had was gonna be higher because of that claims lag. I didn't pull that up to look, but, now we're in a situation where the claims tunnel is full and claims are coming through now, where last year, the first 3 months, we were just building that up, so.
So the second quarter, we can have a year-to-year comparison.
Yeah, we can look at that a little bit better. Claims will still be a little lower just because it was ramping up, but I'd say the third quarter will be,
A better test.
yeah, a better test compared to, so. But we did have those 2 oddball large claims. But like I said, the one was a one and done, and don't expect that to happen again, so.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
Outside of that, I think you and
Yeah.
Cheryl talked about payables and
We're
kinda getting
supposed-
her streamlined with her
They're supposed to be
statements.
sending her a, cause they send a weekly statement,
Mhm.
but they're supposed to be doing a monthly that should help her.
Okay, will that come by fax or by mail?
It'll probably come by fax, but I
Okay,
can
that
check.
would be better.
Yeah.
That's our only complaint.
Okay.
This is-
Gerald, you got any questions?
Oh, no.
They keeping you satisfied, or do you have any problems with it?
Yeah, I'm pretty well satisfied.
But you, John?
We'll find out.
You already have surgery.
I like to see he's optimistic.
I'm gonna have to, I think.
What's bothering you?
Knees.
Uh-oh.
Needing a rebuild?
I've been needing a rebuild. They told me 11 years ago that I needed one.
They just didn't know how strong you was, didn't they?
Well, I'm glad I waited, because I think the procedures have improved a
Yep.
great deal.
Yeah.
That,
Can't believe we can't do it
that
down in the
Paducah
break.
orthopedic group does a really good job. I don't know.
I was gonna talk to Jeremy about that, but, I mean, some of that stuff just takes a while to get in the works. I guess you have to be referred and.
Yeah, I mean, we're not gonna probably ask for a referral. I think, from what I understand on these surgeries, typically, I think they say go until it just almost is unbearable and,
It's gotten that way a couple of times.
yeah.
Yeah, he's looked rough a few times trying to get down through here.
Now, one thing that I did bring up to the insurance committee, and they seemed pretty receptive, it might put you as the board in a little bit of a predicament, but, one thing that we're doing over at Cape Girardeau County is there's two big hospitals in Cape. There is, of course, St. Francis and Southeast Hospital. And so when we went and talked to the county over there, we asked them if they would be interested, if we could do it. Mutual Medical does it in Peoria. There's two big hospitals in Peoria, St. Francis or OSF, St. Francis, and Methodist. And for years, for like the last 15 years, groups in that area choose one hospital or the other. Even though they're less than 15 miles apart, companies up there choose, because you can get discounts at both if both of them are in your network. But both hospitals have said, we'll give you better discounts if you pick one
If you're
versus the
exclusive.
other. Yes. And so they've done that for probably 15 years up there. And what we did was, down in Cape, was, we tried to talk to St. Francis, and of course St. Francis stuck their nose in the air, and the county themselves had even tried to deal with St. Francis on some large bills before even we came along, and St. Francis said, the bill is what the bill's gonna be, and you're just SOL, sorry, pay the money. And so we went and talked to Southeast themselves, and they said, hey, if you're willing to cut St. Francis and make them, they're both in-network hospitals for HealthLink. If you're willing to make St. Francis in Cape County only, out of network, so if it's something that can be provided at Southeast, and they come here, we'll give you a better discount. Now, if they go to St. Francis, they're gonna be considered out of network. And the county overwhelmingly said, yes, we will do that, because Southeast gave us a very, very, very good discount. It's better than what even HealthLink gets there. And, so that's what we went with. So one idea that I threw out to the insurance committee, and it was pretty well received, was what if we could do something similar across the river? You know, mainly because there's not a whole lot of stuff that's done here at Hardin, or at the hospital here. You know, basically, kinda what they told me was, if it's serious, you're going across the river anyways, there's, no matter what. So I don't know if that would be something of interest. They thought it, you know, might be something worth looking into. Their one request was, you know, lean a little heavier towards Western Baptist than anything, cause that's where they said most people are gonna go anyways. We've not approached any, you know, Lourdes or Western Baptist, it's just an idea that Dave and I were bouncing off and talking about, that, you know, if we could go over there and get better discounts, then, you know, it might be worth funneling the employees that way to, you know, not only will they save money and their dollar go further, but it'd save the county money as well.
So you're saying the insurance, the, committee was steering you more towards Baptist?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Is there an issue with the Massac Memorial, I mean, with their pricing structure?
No, I mean, their pricing structure is really good, it's just, what
The
we're talking
services
about
are
is like the
limited.
big ticket items, you know, cause Massac does very little, I mean, they're not gonna do heart, they're not gonna do a knee replacement, you know, but we're talking the big ticket items. And we could even, you know, possibly set it up to where, you know, go and get your little stuff here, cause I know that puts you guys in a little bit of a,
Yeah, because we want to support the local
Right.
hospital as much as
well, what
possible.
I'm saying is, cause you appoint people on that board,
Mhm.
but what I'm talking about is the things that really drive the cost of your plan, you know, is the heart, the knee replacements, you know, the big ticket items that Massac doesn't do anyways. They're gonna send you across the road to do that, so.
Well, I mean, I would want, you know, the insurance committee meet again and a lot more participation.
And make sure
Because there's
that,
only 3 people at this meeting, you
Yeah.
said.
how many people are supposed to be on this committee?
I've got at least one person from every office, and tried to get every, if like, for instance, the police department, there's more than one union rep, I want them on the committee.
Did you have anyone from the highway department?
I didn't, I left a message for Matthew, and I talked to Larry, and I told him, I said, you know, hey, if you guys have 2 or 3 people that's on the negotiating committee, I'm willing to come down and share this with them, and I'll go over it with them, you know, just, and I made the same deal to the police department, but nobody's gotten back with me, so.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I would like for you to meet with more people on that board to get their consensus of what they
Okay.
think.
I can do that.
What do you think, Jim?
I think that's, you're thinking the right thing, because that sounds like if they're not participating, and then all of a sudden we go make a decision, well then, oh my gosh, they've made this decision.
Right. Yeah.
Well, when, in fact, no, you did not participate when you was invited. We wanna make sure that they know they have an opportunity
Well,
to
that's,
put their
you know,
2 cents in.
That's why I threw the idea out there, hey, it's working in other places, it might not work here, but, you know, at least we're bringing new ideas to the table that, you know, could save them money, because they've got a $500 deductible anyways. Why not, if you're gonna spend that money, spend it where you can get the best deal possible, you know, cause we know that some of the procedures, they're not gonna have here at Massac, so they're going across the river anyways for those, they might as well, you know, if we can funnel them somewhere that will give us a really good discount, then it saves everybody money,
Sounds good.
so. Just a thought, just an idea. So,
I don't have anything else unless you all do.
Oh, I was gonna tell, and this is totally unrelated to what we're discussing, but it's either May 7th or May 14th. Some person out of St. Louis is wanting to come and explain that I made an appointment, because you know how persistent, explain to us the ramifications of Obamacare.
okay,
I'm not sure if it's a sales pitch or they're doing this out of the kindness of their heart, but I doubt it.
yeah. You can,
When that appointment is made, would you be interested in sitting on and
oh yeah,
seeing the presentation? And
absolutely. Did they say who they are?
she did, and she's supposed to send me an email with her contact information, and right now, I don't remember it. It just,
ECCHIC,
it might be. It's out of St. Louis.
employers,
Is that the
You've heard
lady
of
who-
them before then.
I can't remember all that is, hold on, I'll tell you. If it's did they say if they had any local groups?
I think they did. I think they mentioned a couple, but you know, like I say, it was one of those conversations. I had myself and one other person in the office. And
If it's who I'm thinking it is.
what do they offer, and what can the commissioners expect? I mean,
Hold on just a second. It is employers committed to control health insurance costs. That's what it stands for.
that doesn't ring a bell. Let me go over there and ask, see if I had it written down.
Yeah.
It's just one of those deals where I don't feel you have to commit to anything, but they make it sound like,
And you can also tell them, oh, and by the way, we're self-funded because you're not subject to a lot of the things that Obamacare is gonna cover.
why don't she call us back? I'll tell her that, or we can just let her meet, and then we'll tell her self-funded.
Let her drive down here.
Then that way Jason can hit her up for lunch.
That's right, there you go.
Speaking of which, it's getting about that time, isn't it? Oh, well, it's only, you got a few minutes.
Yeah.
I guess we.
You guys eat early, it's just going on 11.
Well, I'm just telling you before you leave town. That's what I'm getting at.
We get started early.
Let's go, where do you wanna go?
Say, we do more before 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Is that
There's
all
people in
hashed
this
out down
courthouse
the
at
smoky
4
grill?
o'clock this morning, wasn't there?
There's probably a lot of stuff hashed out down there. What about us?
All the world's problems are here down there.
World peace?
World peace.
I guess we do. I think Nate would be a qualifying thing for that. When I got switched over to this insurance and he came with me.
Yeah, but just, you've had several life-changing events, though. You got a new position, is that not considered a life-changing event?
Not on health insurance.
Oh, come on. She lost her old job.
Yeah.
She was let go at her other
I
position.
could
Still-
be
it's still in the
jobless
same
and homeless
place.
and everything,
Homeless.
all in one sweet, 5-month period. Thanks for helping me.
I'll do what I can.
I like that, homeless.
And I'm an orphan now.
Yeah. Foster parents.
Lost both of my
And Orphan Annie, Orphan
Wow.
Dana.
Doesn't she look pitiful?
Yeah.
Don't smile, don't
And-
smile at him when I'm
and
trying
what
to
about
help
this-
you.
What
There,
about
look.
this, car?
I think I
Mustang?
can trump you on the, with the divorce thing. So there's my,
That you're out.
that's
huh?
my ace,
You're out or you're in.
ace in the hole.
Decent hope. She's like the Kenny Rogers over
Hey,
there.
I've got a benefit
The gambler.
from this, life-altering event. The Mustang was just a bummer.
Bonus.
They're gonna come and
Is
get
it
it if I don't get my divorce
Is it
pretty
convertible?
soon. No, I don't. If I'm gonna do a convertible, it's gonna be a Jeep.
I seen somebody the other day that had a 4-door Jeep and they had all the doors off. Thing that concerned me was they had kid seats, baby seats in the back strapped in. And I thought, why would you have the doors off if you've got that little of kids in? And we're not talking.
You gotta raise them right, buddy.
Yeah, something.
We're from the country.
That would just worry me.
So do I need to speak with you about this?
Yeah.
Or do I need to fill out something different?
No, we'll talk about that.
You here all day, Jeremy, or you just?
I'm gonna go take care of these 2 maxi things and, I believe Dana, don't you have a new employee in your office?
Jane, she's from.
Go over and see the city today?
Yeah, I'm gonna stop by there too.
She's qualified as part-time, so I don't think she would.
Let's see, what
Oh,
was sent me a
wonder.
thing saying there was somebody new, but they weren't taking the insurance.
Not in my house.
Maybe downstairs?
In the assessor's office, possibly.
It's possible.
Yeah, you're right, the assessor.
D2, D2.